What's going on, everybody? For today's vlog, I think I am going to talk about growing up in the late 80s, early 90s. Um, as most of y'all know, I'm actually an old guy. I know baby face here, but I'm in my 30s. I was born in the middle of the 80s, born in 1985. And, I know a lot of people say, the 90s is great. They were 90s babies. They were born in the 90s. They grew up in the 90s. But I don't really consider that growing up in the 90s. I feel like anyone born late 80s and then actually grew up early 90s into the late 90s are like 90s kids. And so I think those people, like myself, are 90s kids. Um, but yeah, so I grew up listening to all the best rap. I know rap nowadays, um, a lot of it's not good. Okay, you got the mumble rappers, which is terrible. Yeah, the music's good, but you can't understand what the hell they're saying. Um, you got you just a lot of the rap nowadays just isn't good. I mean, I miss the times of the story rappers. Freaking Easy E used to have. I mean, yeah, sure, they still rapped about um, women, drugs, money, and stuff like that, but there was more of a story to it. They weren't like rap in the or early 2000s and later. There was more of a story to the raps. Um, and what got me thinking about the 90s a lot is I just recently watched on Netflix Unsolved, the Biggie and Pac, about Biggie and Pac. Um, so after I watched the whole season of that, by the way, yesterday, and I kind of binge watched it all day. I was home alone most of the day, so I just binge watched it, um, and it just got me thinking about the '90s, growing up with that style. Um, but I mean, growing up in that time, I mean, hip hop was a big part of the early '90s that I was really into. Um, I did get into horrorcore a little bit, ICP, Twisted, and all that stuff in the later '90s. Um, but I was also into a lot of the alternative rock stuff with music and whatnot. The styles, I was always into the styles of those times in the late '80s, early '90s when I was still pretty, little. Um, I had, the Technicolor stuff, from the late '80s, early '90s. I had a lot of hand-me-down stuff. Um, but man, I think the culture of the late '80s and early '90s was just amazing. You had the best cartoons, Saturday morning cartoons. You would wake up early. You would want to wake up early, Saturday morning, just so you can watch cartoons. They had the best cartoons in the '90s. Um, well, '80s and '90s, because I remember a little bit of the late '80s, like in '89, '90. Oh, excuse me. And I mean, just everything was there. I remember just waking up early just to watch the Saturday morning cartoons. With the music stuff, I would um, like I used to have a Sony Walkman, with those little earbuds and everything, just like um, freaking Star Lord had in Guardians of the Galaxy. Not the same color and stuff, but I had a Sony Walkman and everything. And I remember going on a road trip to New Mexico. We were going to Carlsbad Caverns, and we stopped off at a store. And I remember picking up a cassette tape, Criss Cross, and listening to "I Missed the Bus," "Jump," and all that stuff on our way to New Mexico and everything. I also had, I had the boy bands I had some cassette tapes with boy bands and everything on it. There was NSYNC, freaking Boys to Men. Boys to Men was a shit. But rap was a big thing. I had Bone Thugs and Harmony. Eazy-E, West Side Connections, freaking I had some NWA stuff on cassette. I remember getting blank tapes, or not even blank tapes. I would find cassettes, and all you had to do to record over a cassette was just cover up the little holes on the bottom, and you can record over what was already on them. So I would take some, that way, my parents didn't know, whatever. I'd get just like, I think there was some Christian music that they wanted me to listen to, and I took the cassette and I sat all day one day listening to Power 92 FM, and waited for music to come on, and I recorded over that entire Christian cassette tape, just hip hop and everything from Power 92 FM, and it was great. I remember having West Side Connections on there, friggin' just all kinds of stuff. I would always visit my grandpa and my grandma's house. My uncle would be bumping Bone Thugs and Harmony, NWA, Eazy-E, Too Short, just all those amazing stuff. Master P. So the hip hop, I really loved 90s hip hop, 80s and 90s hip hop. And rap. I don't like a lot of the stuff now. I think the only ones that really keep in style of that type of storytelling rap would be like Eminem, or a lot of the horrorcore rappers. They still kind of do that storytelling rap. A lot of the, like, I don't like Kanye West too much. I don't like Jay-Z. I don't like, I don't like a lot of the mainstream stuff. I mean, Eminem's kind of mainstream, but fuck it. But really, the only type of new stuff I would listen to would be like Hopsin, Tech Nine, Eminem, stuff like that. Their stuff sounds better to me anyway. It's more akin to 90s rappers than it is to a lot of the mumble rap that we're getting nowadays. So it's easier to understand them. It's easier to see where they're coming from. It's easier to listen to their stories. Now in my older age, I do love listening to just classic rock a lot. I will fall asleep just listening to classic rock. Music is a big thing to me. This was mostly supposed to be about just 90s culture and everything, growing up in the 80s and 90s, and I kind of just went on a tangent about 90s music. Boyz II Men I loved listening to Boyz II Men when I was younger, and I love the harmony and stuff. That's how come Bone Thugs and Harmony was really great to listen to. I wish there would be a rap group now or something that would do like Bone Thugs and Harmony style music. That would be amazing to hear again. As far as I know, there isn't another rap group or anything trying to do anything like that, which kind of sucks. But it is what it is. The Bone Thugs and Harmony had their time in the spotlight, and they're no more. It is what it is. Cartoon-wise, I mean, we had Ninja Turtles, we had Rugrats, we had I mean, we had just so many different cartoons, so many great cartoons and everything. It's hard just to think about everything. I remember watching Reboot. Reboot was a great cartoon for me. Well, it was kind of like a 3D animated when they first started doing 3D animated cartoons and stuff. That was pretty cool. Just so many different cool stuff about the 90s. Of course, you did have your scary stuff in the 90s. Like, I remember Y2K. Y2K was a big thing. I remember my stepfather getting water and everything, and food and supplies and stuff. I think that's when prepping really started becoming a huge thing. Like, right after that, I know there was prepping back in like the 50s and 60s, with the wars and stuff. And then when nuclear bombs became a thing, there was nuclear bomb shelters and stuff. So there was prepping then. But I think the Y2K really brought out the paranoia in a lot of people. And And so, because I mean, you have all these nuclear weapons all around the world and everything connected to computer systems that, because of this bug in the system, they could all launch at once. So the media like freaked everybody out. And I mean, it was an easy fix. Yeah, all they had to do was update their systems. Took a few months, but I mean, they got it fixed and everything before the ball dropped on New Year's Eve. But I mean, people were scared. My stepfather was scared. I remember, all of us sitting, waiting, watching the ball drop in New York. And well, we weren't there in New York. We were watching it on TV, and we were like, is it gonna blow up? Are we all gonna die? Are we all gonna die? We're still here. 12:01. Shit, our computer screwed up, but we're fine. At the time, especially in my small town, it just had dial-up, and dial-up sucked. Dial-up, you spend all night just trying to see one tit. It's slow as hell. And then, you screwed everyone up trying to, use the phone or something. All right, I forgot with this camera. The video automatically stops after 12 minutes because you've gotten up to the 4 gigabyte spot. I know I'm going to be cutting out just a little bit of snippet. But anyway, so I was talking about Y2K and everyone being all freaked out. And then I got into dial-up internet and how much it was a pain in the ass to even just surf the internet back in the day. That was a pain in the butt. So I never really got on the internet much until after 2000, when I moved out of my small town and into a bigger town, and there was DSL and cable internet and stuff like that. So, the internet's, I was kind of late to the internet party, pretty much. So, this YouTube thing is kind of difficult for me, vlogging a lot, video gaming and stuff, that I've done video gaming before, just talking over me playing video games, that was easy. Vlogging is a lot different. What else in the 90s? There was, just the wardrobe. Wardrobe was a pain in the butt. Like I said, I had Technicolor clothes. I would wear, I'd wear the overalls and stuff, with the one arm of the overall off or some. Or back in the Criss Cross days, Criss Cross would wear their pants backwards. Okay? So I would wear my pants backwards, or I would wear my overalls backwards, which was a pain in the butt because if you had a zipper that didn't zip right, your zipper would go down and you'd show your butt to everybody because your zipper would go down and you couldn't see it because it was on your butt, because you're looking at your back pockets on your front. But it was kind of cool having those pockets there in the front, though, because you can just put things in and everything. Shoot, what else? I don't know what else. I mean, there's a lot of things in the late 80s, early 90s, like diapers in the 80s, because I seen pictures of myself, and in the 80s they didn't have like super absorbent materials. It was just cotton inside a plastic wrap, basically. And so I'd see pictures of me when I was a baby. Them diapers are huge. I had a freaking Kim Kardashian booty. I had a badunkadunk when I was a baby because of the giant diapers they had to put on you. just so shit didn't leak out, literally and figuratively. Oh shit, what else? Oh shit, there is just so much stuff from the 80s and 90s. Toys were, oh my god, toys, they didn't care what the hell the toy did to you as long as you didn't get like you could lose an eye or like a finger or something and no one really gave a shit. I mean, I'm sure someone gave a shit. Like your mom would give a shit, but like toy manufacturers, they just, you know, don't do that. They put it on the package. Don't do this with it. You do it, not our fault. You know, no one raised hell. No one did anything. It was, and then you could go pretty much anywhere. Like my mom and my stepdad, they didn't care. We'd get on our bikes. We just take off all day long, go riding out in the desert, riding out just anywhere on our bikes. They didn't care where we were as long as we came home in the middle at night before the freaking street lights came on. As long as we were home for dinner, we were good. We'd be out all day long. So yeah, I think growing up in the 80s and 90s was actually really fun and really great. For me, it was, I think, the best time to have been growing up. I think kids have it a lot harder these days. Social media and everything makes kids feel like they need to have a certain image. Now, I know I feel like doing these vlogs that I need to have a certain image. I need to, when I do these vlogs and I am just sitting here in this room, I feel like I am failing you guys because I don't have some extravagant life where I'm out every day doing something new, doing something crazy to give you guys some kind of cool thing to watch. And that seems kind of wrong. I mean, not everyone does something amazing and cool every day. That would get exhausting. You gotta have downtime. You gotta have time for yourself. These vlogs have been kind of difficult for me to do every day. Today, I didn't really feel like wanting to do a vlog. I'm kind of exhausted today. Mentally, I was thinking all day long of what to do for my vlog, and then I was kind of just screwing around in the house, messing around, and I actually got exhausted enough to where I just flat out passed out for 10 minutes. And I woke up and I was like, you know what, I don't even want to do a vlog today. And my cousin was like, no, you promised, you said you were going to be doing this 10-day challenge vlog thing. You need to go do this vlog, you got to do it. You better go film. And I was like, yeah, you know, you're right. I made a commitment. I better go and do this. So here I am, giving you this vlog, little bit of, you know, how it was growing up in the 80s and 90s for me. I know it was mostly about music, but music was a big thing for me. Music was the only thing I really had to turn to growing up. It brought me out of my shitty world in a small town and took me to a different realm, I guess, into their world. You know, listening to Gin and Juice, I'd imagine myself actually riding around in a 6'4" with Snoop Dogg while he's sipping on some gin and juice, you know, while we're cruising down the street in Compton or something, you know. And I probably wouldn't even last a day out in Compton. This little chubby Mexican boy would probably get shot or something, or get jumped because I'd say something stupid. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, music helped me a lot through my life, and so that's, I think I lean on music a lot. So I get a little excited when I start talking about music. But this is this vlog. I know I ran it a little long today. Yes, but I hope you enjoyed. I hope learning a little bit about growing up in the 80s and 90s and stuff a little bit was great. I know I didn't get into too much detail on like cartoons and toys and stuff, on like what type of toys I had or what my favorite cartoons were. Ren and Stimpy was a big favorite of mine. Loved Ren and Stimpy. There you go. There's a little thing there. So I hope you enjoyed. If you made it this far, please click that like button, comment, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. If you didn't like it, if you did like it, let me know if you grew up in the 90s, what you enjoyed from the 90s. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'll catch y'all later. Bye bye.